Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of our brand new build, the Toad Town Zoo and Aquarium. In case you didn't notice, the zoo is going to be fully inspired by the Mushroom Kingdom itself, Super Mario Brothers, a lot of Toad imagery, just a lot. It's a Mario themed zoo. That's what it's going to be from head to toe. We're not going to do any stereotypical African areas, Asian areas, nothing like that. It's purely just going to be animals that remind me of things you might find in the Mushroom Kingdom. Now, whether or not this zoo is actually in the Mushroom Kingdom or is just a theme park that looks like the Mushroom Kingdom, that's up to the viewer to decide. But overall, it's a fun build. We're just having fun, and so far building this has been a freaking blast. So with that, I'll start commenting on what I'm doing in this build. So right now we are building the entryway. We're going to have several of these scattered around the park, but of course I built this in franchise mode, so money is an issue, and yeah, sometimes I wish I built in sandbox, but I don't. I build in franchise mode because I like the challenge. So here we are going to be building our mushroom house. You can see in the Mario movie all of the little mushroom houses, and even like the Mario properties, the Toads live in mushroom houses and have little mushroom storefronts. This is what it's going to look like. A little bit of it. And here we're going to do the staff area. We're just going to be moving that off the main path, so it won't distract the visitors, but it'll still add to the whole village experience that we're going for.
Mamma mia!
So the guest is going to walk up through the pipe and be right in the mix of all of the Toad Town madness. And I like the Toad Town because it's just like a busy market, and there's toads hustling and bustling all over the place. Here we're just going to copy some of those storefronts over and use them for the staff buildings. And we're going to recolor all of them just to give some variation. We're really just sticking with the 4 colors here, the yellow, red, blue, and green. And that is pretty much the overview of what it's going to look like. We're going to add just some variation in heights, making some maybe 2 floors, some are going to be 1 floor, just to give it a little bit more interest. And kind of the style behind these is I'm using a lot of the Arctic pack, just because it looks a little more villagey to me. And it's pretty similar to what you see in the movie. Especially in the games, you see kind of more of the villagey aspect to it. Now we're just going to go around and add windows to all of the buildings. Each one, aside from the outer shell, is kind of unique. And there you could see one of the storefronts was a rectangle one. I unfortunately did not film that part. But we're going to kind of replicate that style over to these couple buildings that I left blank. Just because if you look in the Mario movie, not all of the buildings are mushrooms. Some of them are rectangle, kind of marketplace looking ones. So we're going to replicate that around the zoo. also. So it'll give a lot of variation and just kind of aesthetically pleasing difference in the buildings. So then I thought this building was just a little too kind of bland, so I decided, I guess it'd be maybe a facade is how to say that. Kind of just to give it a little more dimension to that flat surface. And now we're going to build a storefront on the other side of that building. And just kind of using these curved pieces to fill in the space and make kind of a unique shape that's a little bit off the grid from the path.
Come on, let's go.
Now we're going to kind of figure out the pathway in here. Just kind of putting it down temporarily. I don't have any idea for what exactly is going to go in here, but we definitely will fill it up and make it kind of an interesting space to walk around in. And let me know what you think I should call it. I was thinking Wario's Wares. It'll probably end up being a gift shop. Toad's Toys. I don't know. Come up with an interesting name down in the comments.
Here we go. Mamma mia.
And there's a good overview of what our village is looking like so far. And now we're going to cover up that floor that we didn't get perfectly straight. We're going to use some floor tiles for that, and then we're going to recolor them orange because I just kind of like that Tuscany feel for the Toad Town. I think the Toads are an interesting kind of cultural group because they can really be from anywhere and draw from any kind of cultural, look. I could picture them with the Arctic pack, the African pack, the Indian pack. Like they really can, they're a versatile fantasy creature. So it's kind of fun to build for. And a good step away from a lot of the realism you see in planetzoo builds.
Take that, losers. Wario the winner.
Now we're going to add a bathroom stall onto this building because I totally forgot to add one when I was planning this out. Now something I like to do is cover up that ugly wall tile that they have in there, just with wall pieces. And really, like I was saying with the cultural stuff of the toad, is the decorations you can use are like the flora and the rocks and everything. It all kind of just works with the theme. And here we are adding a couple exhibit boxes. We did the American Bullfrog and the Terrapin. Terrapins look like Koopas, and I think Mario gets a frog suit at some point, so that's why I chose them. And if that doesn't tell you what kind of animals we're putting in this zoo, I don't know what else will. If it reminds me of a Koopa, it's going in. If it reminds me of a Goomba, it's going in. Yeah, Birdo. If it reminds me of Birdo, it's going in. And I built this overview for our habitat creature, which will be in the next episode. Creature, I guess I should say animal. It's a real life animal. And just like a simple overlook, I liked that corrugated metal just because it looked kind of like mixed between Donkey Kong, like the industrial like pipes and metal girders that they're walking around on. So I thought it was nice, and that's why I used that. And here is a look at all of our animals we added this episode. Just the cute little guys floating around. And here's an overview of our village so far. And I did forget one building, which we will be fixing. And here's our habitat. Like and subscribe. It's been a wonderful time. Hit the bell button. And I will see you next time at the Toad Town Zoo and Aquarium.